You've been, as we know, cautious throughout. Does a number like this give you pause, or does it say that we're moving, as Mike just mentioned, in the right direction? And given that the market seems to be looking for anything positive, do we go higher from here?
Mike is absolutely right. We are moving in the right direction relative to last week, relative to consensus expectations. That's the good news. But he's also absolutely right in saying the absolute numbers remain high. And that's of concern because we're getting now a migration up in layoffs from the smaller companies to the larger one. You've been talking all morning about United, Bath & Beyond. The list goes on of companies struggling. And the hope, the big hope, is that we get enough momentum so that we can absorb this wave of layoffs that's coming from the bigger companies.
And so when you think about what the numbers are going to look like over the next month or two, both between earnings and where you think unemployment goes, given clearly this the continued outbreak of the coronavirus, what does that look like to you?
So the very high frequency numbers, mobility, retail traffic, they've unfortunately not just flattened out, but they've started to come down. The Wall Street Journal has a chart on this morning. And with that, employment in those sectors is starting to come down. So it is a reflection of the fact that the reopenings have either been halted or reversed in over 30 states. So we are going to see a moderation in the momentum, but the hope is that the momentum continues forward, but it's going to be at a slower pace than it's been in the last few weeks.
Mohammed, I was talking to a big investor yesterday who made the comment to me that basically every investor right now, professional investors, playing for basically 2 months out, 2 to 3 months out, waiting for news on a vaccine. And that's the entire game, and that it's entirely binary, meaning we're either going to show up in September or October, or even earlier, and you're going to get positive news on on a possible vaccine, or you're not. And that's the game here. And you're going to have to either bet one way or the other. What do you make of that?
So that would be the headline. But if you go beyond that, there are also people betting on further support from the government and central bank, this notion that we will socialize the downside. And also there are people betting that certain stocks, and Mike made a great point with his chart today, certain stocks have become everything to everybody. And by that is the Microsoft, the Apple, they have it all. They have resilience, strong balance sheets, they have positive cash flows, and they have agility. They benefit both from the journey to the vaccine and the destination with the vaccine. So you have a lot of sub-themes going on. The big one is this notion that there is something good on the other side, and it is the vaccine that will get us there. But there's more behind this, Andrew, than just this theme.
Given that backdrop, how do you position yourself? We're now in July. How do you position yourself, given that backdrop and all of the concerns and the high frequency numbers you're talking about? How do you position yourself? What is the gamble? What is the bet to make?
So I'll repeat what Ed said earlier on your show, which I thought was great because it spoke to me. I felt it. I got the theme right, but I got the valuations wrong. What has been the real puzzle here is not the themes. You've heard me say, look for companies that have these 4 characteristics: strong balance sheet, positive cash flow, good management, and on the sunny side of the COVID era. But it's the valuation issues that have certainly tricked me. I exited way too early from these names. So a lot comes down to how you value these names. And what you have going on right now is this notion that there is no alternative. And therefore, these few stocks that are driving markets higher have become both growth stocks and defensive stocks. And that's what people are betting on right now. I personally think valuations matter over time, but the last few weeks have proven me wrong, Andrew.